Warning: the following video may have language that some viewers may find offensive and others are already offended. Viewer discretion is advised, but not really. No animals were hurt in the making of this 4-hour feature film.
All right, folks, buckle up because today on the Full Monty, we're bringing in a man who's seen more dance floors than a Zamboni has seen ice. He's the maestro of the mix, the curator of chaos, and the guy who can take a quiet room and turn it into a full-blown celebration with one perfectly timed track. He's been the heartbeat behind weddings, parties, corporate events, and the nights people still talk about years later. When the lights go down and the music comes up, this guy, you want in control of all the vibe. From A&M Sounds, the DJ service that keeps St. Thomas, Elgin County, and pretty much every venue with driving distance dancing. Please welcome the man who knows how to read a crowd better than most people read a book. Adrian Peters. And Adrian, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Adrian. Yeah, let's talk about this service that you've had. Now, you've had this for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So it's not just DJing. You do corporate events. You do
Yes.
all kinds of stuff. Let's talk. When you started, what got you into this?
Well, believe it or not, I used to have house parties at my when I was a kid, 16, 17, 18 years old. My parents used to let me stay at home on the weekends, and I could drink at home. I'd have my friends over, and I used to be able to play all my party tunes.
Cool.
And it was just, from there, it just evolved.
So you were literally playing DJ.
Yeah, basically. To a certain degree. I would make up mixtapes and what have you, so they could I could enjoy my night as well.
Yeah.
But my brothers and my brothers especially had the same thing. They used to have parties in the basement when I was a kid. So I used to be their bartender, 10 years younger, and bring their drinks to them in the basement as they're doing their party.
Something just popped in my head, but I bet you the cassette tape and the Scotch tape went a lot with covering the little tabs on the back of the cassette tapes.
I never used cassettes.
Didn't you?
No.
What'd you use back then?
Always vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 45s, albums.
Okay.
Dr. Disc was big back then.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So they got a lot of my business. And then we had the disc shop in St. Thomas, and I'd be in there every week looking at all the new songs and trying to buy each one for each system that I had.
Okay.
And just grew the music that way. So it was all vinyl.
I was making like mixed tapes and stuff back in my day. I used to tape a lot of radio at one time, but putting the tape over the cassette so I could
record again?
Yeah, and then I would, from vinyl, and I'd record the cassette and make my own songs up. And because my truck that I used to drive back then had an old cassette player. And just prior to that, had the 8-track.
Okay.
And I used to love 8-track.
I've heard that. I never used it.
You never used an 8-track?
No.
Oh my God.
Never
Jeez,
did.
I guess I am kind of dating myself.
That was the 70s. That was the 70s.
Yeah. But my old dump truck back then, the first truck I drove had an 8-track in it. And then that came out, we put a cassette deck in there.
Yeah.
That was pretty high tech, man.
Big time.
Yeah, when I got a cassette, I was rolling.
For sure.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And then I started making my own tapes and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so you're doing that for your family and friends and
yeah, and it was a girlfriend of mine that at the time she said, my mom wants somebody to do a function, and as I booked that one, or like not really book it, but I just at that time just said, yeah, I'll do that. AMJ Campbell, the Movers, they gave me my first chance at doing a gig.
Oh, did they?
It was an outdoor summer gig. It was hotter than a pistol, but I had vinyl, and luckily they gave me shade, or else the vinyl would just warp out back in those days, right? But I still see him every year at the Remembrance Day event that I do. Yeah. And he comes up every year. He says, I got you started. He says it every year.
Yeah.
He's proud to know that, you know what, I gave somebody that really didn't have a chance to do something, and it's evolved.
You never forget that, do you?
No, you don't.
No. And I know you've put in a lot of time and your company for Remembrance Day every year. You know, I've been 37 years with the Legion. I've been past Poppy chairman. I've organized remembrance services and from Grand Bend and that. Helped up here like with our Veterans Memorial Gardens and it's awesome to have somebody like you that does that. Dedicated every year.
Well, it was about 20 years ago that my wife and I finally had a chance to go because I would always work. I worked a part-time or a full-time job on the side up until about 20 years ago. And we finally were able to go to one. And I couldn't hear anything. And I was like, for me, that's tough when you have 1,000 people and you can't hear.
Yep.
So I said, you know what, from here on in, it's going to change.
Good.
And we made it happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It does make a huge difference. Now, this year, I was the first year I've ever marched in the parade. So, as a member of the St. Thomas Police Pipes and Drums Band, I actually, the band couldn't make it that day. And I had my kilt, everything on. I'm the only one here in town. So I went down to the Legion. I formed up with our city police and I just marched with them. And boy, was that cold. I was a cold one this year.
It was cool today. It was really cold.
Try it with a kilt.
Yeah, normally I when I do my sound system, I spread it out along the back wall.
Yes.
But it was so cold and so snowy that the time wasn't there to be able to
do all the and it was
snow clearing.
Very windy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
The tent that I was under, as I was tearing down, that tent literally blew off its goreans.
Oh, did it really?
It was like within probably 3 minutes of the ending of the show.
I have photographs. I used to every year always be standing at the cenotaph doing all the photographs of everybody coming up. And I always tried to capture our older veterans and all the older people. And I'm so glad because we just recently lost some heavy hitters there that I've got their last Remembrance Days. And I'm so glad I was there. But I've got pictures like Mark Cousins standing up there doing the Flanders Field, just completely white in snow.
Sure.
And then I've got other ones where one year I think a lot of people were in like T-shirts.
Yes,
it was so nice.
It's crazy.
It's when you put all those different years together, and it's just.
There was times where I couldn't even feel my fingers. Like the computer wouldn't even work. After a while, it just got. It was so cold. So cold.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
We got to get you a big heated mobile trailer.
Right? I'd like to hear that.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I remember at the Remembrance one year they invited me back for a special luncheon. And there were a few from veterans there. So I went up to say, hey, thank you for your services. And he looked at me and went, I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And to me, that speaks volumes because for the people that have went through that, a lot of them would go, I would do it again, but boy, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't even flinch it. It was like, that was my duty.
So listen, weddings, they're very emotional. Mm-hmm. They can be very unpredictable. Sometimes they can be quite chaotic, right? We've seen it.
You have seen
it. So what makes wedding DJing really unique? I got to refer over to my list because I have so many things over there, but what makes it so unique compared to other events that you do?
Well, and this is something that's great for brides and parents of brides to understand is that it's about the family. It's about the generations that are there.
Okay.
And to understand how you can play to certain generations at certain times of the evening and almost give them their fill so they're good to go. But then as the music changes throughout the evening, they're good with having all the music they've already had played. And you can play to younger generations, but you can still play to everybody.
Okay.
The problem with the industry, and I'll talk about this later if you want, is the process from going from vinyl to CD, which was a great change because the music variety and etc. was available a lot easier, and there was more music to have in your system.
Mm-hmm.
Going to computer was probably the worst thing for the disc jockey industry. And the reason why I say that is because anybody can have 1,000 songs on their computer and think that they're a DJ, but you're not.
Yeah.
And the problem with it is now is it's all about these consoles. These DJs think you're only a DJ if you know how to mix music on a beat mix. But weddings aren't beat mix.
No, they're not.
Weddings are about playing the song the full song, so someone that actually asked for it will actually be able to hear the whole song. And a lot of the guys that are coming out now are thinking, I'm going to play 40 seconds of a song and then change to another song and then change to another song.
Yeah.
So by the time you get on the floor to enjoy that part, it's already over. So a wedding is all about the guest. You got to play to the guests, not at the guests.
Okay.
So it's about understanding how to play a variety of styles of music, so people understand that when you're playing your country set, you're playing 2 or 3 or 4 country. But when you change it to the next style, you're playing 2 or 3 of those. So after a while, they understand, and they'll come up when you're playing that certain style and go, hey, can you play this song since you're playing dance now?
Okay.
And normally it will work out, and we can get that person on the floor and have some fun with it. And then they understand that they can enjoy 3 or 4 songs in a row before maybe wanting to sit down, because the next style of music may not be their genre, but it might be somebody else's genre.
Okay. No, I know a lot of people have no idea how complex this really is. I know all the years that, and I've been with you and your company, and I think it was Grand Bend, one of them that we did up in Elkwood, and I was with you actually. Yes. But you can't just throw a song on, say you've got a nice mellow, say it's a Carpenter's song. Okay. And now you're going to just whip up and you've got a Led Zeppelin song coming on that somebody wants to hear it or whatever, and then you're going to go back and you're going to play a Johnny Mathis. Like, you can't just throw them in like that.
And that's part of the job, is understanding and explaining to people. You've asked for a song. You can see I'm playing country. You're asking for dance. You're going to have to wait until I get to dance, and then I'll play your song. Some people think, play it next. Well, I'm going to lose everybody that's on the floor, because now they've lost the confidence of understanding that I don't understand how to play music. Yeah. Now I have to fight to get them back on again. So sometimes you have to kind of let people know, and most of the time they're really good. Yeah. And they understand that it's your job. You do your job. I just want you to play this song. And if you have to make a decision, a hard decision of saying it doesn't work, it's not fast enough, it's not slow enough, it makes no sense, it's a good listening, driving song, but you can't dance to it, then that's when you show them a repertoire of music that they can choose a song from, and they walk away still thinking they picked a song, but it's really out of the repertoire is going to work.
I think that night you told me something, and I'm thinking it was that night in Grand Bend, but it did stick with me. I just can't remember the venue. Mm-hmm. But we were talking about that and how you can do an event and you think it's crushing because nobody's on the dance floor. It's like, oh, there's nobody. Like, what am I doing? And then at the end of the night, come up and go, wow, that was amazing. The best night I've ever, that was fantastic. And you're thinking, what?
But see, like, the thing is, though, sometimes you have to realize that there's 2 types of crowds. Mm-hmm. Very seldom will that ever happen where you don't get anybody. But there are people that are band crowds. They love music. Yeah. They're not dancers. They just want to hear good music.
They're at the table singing.
And they're sitting and exactly singing along, etc. Yeah. But they could have had a band and they would have been happy too. Yeah. Right. But you have to look at it from that kind of perspective. Is that not everybody is a dancer? Yeah. So I remember about 10 years ago I was doing a party out at Purple Hill, just outside of London. Yep. And a lot of parties out there are different ethnic groups, etc., what have you. And this group was a bunch of young gentlemen that they were raised not to dance. They were told you don't dance.
Wow!
It's one of those things. If you're a male, you don't dance. So I remember going to the head table and I said to them, just before the dance was going to start, I said to the guys, hey guys, you guys want to hear anything tonight that I can dance, get you out on the dance floor? And they looked at me and they went, we don't dance. I went, what do you mean you don't dance? I said, well, no, our background, we just don't dance. I said, do you realize that women love guys that dance? And their eyes just went, I'm listening.
Really?
I'm listening.
Through the women in
your
now.
Said, it doesn't matter how you dance. As long as you're out there and you're showing them that you will dance, I tell you, those guys had the most fun I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was
they did it.
Oh, yeah. And they were terrible dancers, but you know what? They had fun, and no one cared. And that's the thing that most people don't realize is no one's looking at you. They're just going, wow, I wish I could do that. I wish I could get out on the dance floor and just have fun. That's what it's all about.
So how do you handle a couple then at a dance or say a wedding, but the bride and the groom have just totally different music liking? So how do you handle that?
Well, normally it's the woman that gets the styles they want to play with because they're going to dance. Most guys do not. A lot of the guys don't dance.
Yeah.
So they want to hear the hard rock. Well, you can't dance to it. So, maybe later on in the evening or at the end or what have you, we can get away with some. But it's all about the dance portion.
Okay.
And as long as the bride's dancing, the guy will probably follow. But if the guy's dancing to something that the girl doesn't want, she may not follow along.
Okay.
So it's trying to find something that's a common ground or something that's danceable that the groom will go, I can dance to that.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes is them knowing that you're trying to work with them. And normally that's the talk we have beforehand, right? We have a list we send out, et cetera, and say, we're not looking for all your favorite songs, but we want to have an idea of what's your favorite artist or favorite couple of songs from certain artists. So we have an idea of where we can start and how we can build the night from there, right? So it helps us kind of go, okay, he likes Ozzy. Well, maybe we can get away with Crazy Train, but right, or Mama Coming Home, depending on whether right. Yeah. But then at least we're kind of armed with the information that we need.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Now that weddings, are such a huge planning thing. I know when I used to be doing the video work, I think the last one I did was DJ Kennington. I filmed his wedding, and that we did it up in, I think it was in Guelph or Cambridge at that time. For music, do you sit down as so somebody contacts you and they're inquiring now about your services. You have a meeting with them and you discuss and take me through that process. So how do Adrian sit down with clients?
Well, since probably 2018, people don't sit down very often.
No?
Okay. It's hard enough to get the information from them via email.
Okay.
And sometimes brides, because they've thought about this for the last 20 years of their life, they have everything they have. They know what they want.
Okay.
As far as the day goes. When they book my services, it's generally off of another event. So they've been somewhere else that I've done something and went, I want you to do what you did for this event.
Okay.
Right? And I can look back at that date. I can even look back at my computer and go, that's the styles of music that she likes to have played.
Okay.
And I don't deviate a lot from one wedding to another in regards to the mainstream music, unless, of course, they say, I don't want any, as per se, Pitbull or Celine Dion or whatever. I don't play some of those anyway, but the fact of the matter is, if they have a do not playlist and they have...
I was going to touch on that. Mm-hmm. Is that big now? What was one that was a lot of YMCA? I know there was a lot. Don't play that.
I call them cheese.
Yeah.
There's a list of cheese songs that I have that I'll play if you ask for them, but I'm not going to come out with them right off the hop or throughout the evening just because it's filler.
I
don't want to play filler.
Yeah.
I want somebody at the end of the night whistling a song they haven't heard in 20 years and go, wow, that brought me back.
Now, if somebody came up, say the bride, so you're told, okay, they have an absolute, I don't want this played. And then you get 1, 2, or 3 people come up and say, yeah, I want this song. And it's that, is that where you would say, listen, you need to go talk to the bride or whatever?
Well, normally if it's written down on paper, I just show them the paperwork.
Yeah.
And if they're willing to go and step over those boundaries and talk to the bride, that's up to them.
Okay.
Generally, sometimes the bride's like, you know what, I don't care anymore. I'm having a good time. It won't matter, and they're going to have fun. That's fine.
Okay.
And sometimes there's like, no.
Yeah, don't care who it is. You ain't playing that.
I've even had brides go, I don't want any country at all.
Okay.
And I've had like half the crowd, the other side of the family is all country.
Oh, wow.
Where I wouldn't be able to play it until the bride and groom had left.
Yeah.
And then can you play it now? I can't play it now, but yeah, certainly, because she's gone.
Yeah.
And she won't care. And then that side of the crowd goes crazy.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
so you got to know your crowd,
and
you've got to be a little open to understand what's good and what's bad.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like you said, the cheese is you can get away with it. Of course, like the cha-cha slide and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it, but some crowds, that's the only way they know how to dance, is by doing the steps, like the song, like the Macarena, YMCA, yada, yada, right? All those.
Yeah.
So if you don't have those, then you've lost maybe a portion of the crowd that may not dance at all.
I keep thinking of that remix of ABBA, and there was that whole Dancing Queen and the whole techno stuff in it, right? It's like, on a good system, it sounds pretty cool, but it's just, so it's cheesy. Yeah, it is.
It is. Like the Beatles one was good at the time too. Remember the Beatles one?
Yes.
Stars on 45?
Yeah.
That was big, but
the one song that I've always, I don't know, it was an ABBA song. Oh my gosh, Take a Chance on Me. Take a Chance. And there was a video came out for an animal welfare thing with a dog, and the dog's name was Chance. And ever since I saw that years ago, and it just like, I can't even watch, I can't even listen to that song now. It's like you want to, you want to start crying, right?
Yeah.
It was such a great tune, though, the way they did that. I like that.
That was one of my favorites by them.
But my Karen Carpenter, I just loved her voice. Yeah. That Rainy Days and Mondays, but that whole era back then and what happened to her was 70s just
soft rock in the 70s was awesome.
It was fantastic. And I found myself on satellite radio a lot. I was always tuning 70s. Of course, I'm an 80s baby, so I was always listening to 80s, but I still, stations in London, I tune in there and for the 80s, but I do like going back to the classic stuff. Well, even now the 80s is classic rock, which, dude, I can't get my head around that, because I hear a song and I remember touring with my buddies. I can tell you what road we were and what number of beers we were on back then, right? We were gravel running.
Right. But really, when it comes to classic really means an era. It doesn't mean
an age. I know.
Right?
It's kind of
80s really isn't classic rock.
Yeah.
70s is classic rock.
Yeah.
Right? Soft rock and what have you.
But see, to me, I think classic, we're going 40s, 50s. Like, that's classic music. That's way back, right? But no, I don't know.
No, that's big band. That's all their swing and jazz.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. But so 70s is classic, and 80s is rock, and 90s was grunge, basically, right?
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. It didn't do much for me.
No.
Not the 90s
the odd
stuff.
Band,
country really changed.
It did.
It went,
It got its breath of fresh air in the 90s.
Yeah. It got out of that whole twang thing. I lost my girlfriend, lost my job, my dog died, my truck quit. It was all that same stuff. Where it's going today, like we talked about Jamie Warren when Chris Harding was in, and his new material he's got coming out, I really, really like, because it's kind of breaking away from that kind of older stuff, but yet he's just, I don't know, he's a hell of a writer. Jamie's a phenomenal writer. He's got some really nice stuff out. But so anyway, what is your number one recommendation then? So we have somebody watching this right now, and they're planning their wedding, say a year or so from now, and they're contemplating DJ. What's one of the things you want them to know? What should they be watching out for?
Well, I think they need to talk to whoever they're looking at possibly booking. They need to have a face-to-face. A face-to-face, ask the questions, the hard questions that you want to ask, and see how they answer them live. You can do anything over email, etc. And then they can go source the answer if they don't know it, and then give you the answer you want to hear. But if you can look somebody straight in the face and they understand, and they ask you a hard question and you say, that's not the way it should be done, and I'll explain why. Here are the pros and here are the cons. And allow the bride to understand that they can still make a decision on whether that's a good idea. Then they can kind of go, okay, he knows his stuff. He knows how to play music. And then ask the questions. Do you know these styles of music? Can you play these styles of music that we want? I don't play all styles of music. So my clientele has to understand, I'm not playing club. I'm not playing dub. I'm not playing any of that stuff.
Right.
I'll play dance. I'll play top 40. I'll play classic rock. I'll play all the stuff from the previous eras. Yeah. But if you want me to play 50% top last 5 years of music, I can't do it. Yeah. I could do it. I'm not going to do it well. And I can guarantee you at a wedding, it's not going to go over anyway.
Won't go. No.
But everybody thinks they know.
Now,
right?
Also, you're not just providing music.
No.
You're kind of the master of ceremonies here, right? You're from emceeing.
can.
Bringing up speeches, like
I can do all that.
Yeah.
Depending on what they want. Sometimes having a family member being the MC is great because then there might be some backstories they can throw in, make it a little more personal. But the MCing can be done for sure. But I think it's more about sitting down and figuring out the timeline of how you want to put it all together, understanding how much time you need for each portion of your day. For example, how much time does it take for a ceremony and guests to arrive, and how much time do I need between the ceremony and my dinner and etc. Yep. From dinner, it just happens. So you can't just go, we're going to have dinner at 6 and first dance at 8. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's just got to flow, right? But up until then, there are times and things that you need to make sure you understand the timing, and talking to the proper professionals in regards to that. So after the ceremony, are you doing pictures? Are they on site? Are they off site? Do you have to travel to go somewhere? How much time does your photographer need?
Yeah.
So you can add that time in between to make sure that your dinner isn't waiting for you and it's cold or what have you. Because a buffet or a sit-down meal for a caterer, it's very important that they can get it out when it's fresh, right? Or else the job is they look bad and it's not their fault.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So it's all about timing. So talking to the right professionals and getting the right answers.
Who's your go-to player for dinner?
Oh,
so when is it like a Michael Bublé?
Oh no.
Quiet,
I always recommend.
No Bublé?
No. Just no. It's a great variety of classic stuff.
Is it?
Yeah, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Just the mid-tempo, like the Temptations or the Elton Johns or the Billy Joels, Taylor Swift, some of the stuff that you can just kind of sit there and dance and sing to.
Yeah.
So it gives a little bit to everybody, and like I said, like I was saying earlier, playing music to certain types of people at certain time frames.
Yeah.
If you play a lot of that classic stuff that you can see everyone just bobbing their heads and singing along to, that's pleased a genre that probably weren't going to dance much anyway. So they've been already appeased, and now you can start shifting your music to the different style once the dance portion starts.
So as an early night, though, is that where you kind of play? Because you're going to have, grandma, grandpa, great-grandma, they're all there. So you kind of get the older stuff in for them at all?
No, that was the old school. That was back in the 80s, maybe early 90s, where it was almost like you play 4 fast, you play 2 slow. And that was the bass back then. It was 4 fast, 1 slow, 4 fast, 2 slow, different styles each time. And when you slowed it down, you would change it to the next style of music, slow song. So you kind of get that crowd on, 4 or 5 of those. Slow it down, 4 or 5 of these. And now it's changed where you usually get into 2 different styles of music. And you use songs that are bridges, basically. So songs that could be one style, but it could be another. And so you keep the people that are on the floor on, but you're adding others because they're going, it sounds like it's almost changing to this style.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of songs like that you can use that give you that opportunity to kind of move to a different style of music.
Very cool.
It's all about, and keep in mind, the grandma and grandpa aren't going to dance any more than 4 or 5 times in the night anyway. So to play a whole set or 2 or 3 for them in the first 2 hours, you're killing the dance floor.
Okay.
And you're losing the energy of the people that actually have energy. So you got to give them enough to keep them in cue. So later on, when it slowly changes to more of their music, possibly, not necessarily. If the parents are 50 years old, you may find them on the floor all night long, and you want to keep them on the floor with their 80s and 90s music.
Okay. What would be the most funniest thing that ever stuck in your head of all these, not just weddings, could be corporate events, something, but you're providing a service at this function, and something hilarious happens. What sticks out in your head that you were just like, I can't believe that went down?
Well, I'd say the one event that you came with me was one that really does stick out in my mind.
The Grand Bend one?
Yeah.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
That one does?
It does. That's never ever happened before.
Okay.
Before or after.
Tell everybody what was going on.
Oh, so we were out at Grand Bend at
Oakwood
Inn.
Yeah.
Doing a wedding, and it was back in the CD days. So
Yeah.
back then, there was a lot of time going to a catalog, finding a song, grab or a computer, however you set it up, and then you would have to find the CD and put it into the player. And I was just going through that motion. It was about 12 o'clock at night. Great party, a lot of fun. Family was great, etc. And all of a sudden, I got a tap on my shoulder. And I said, hold on, I'm just putting the song in. I'll be ready to go in a second. I wasn't looking over at the dance floor at that time because I was getting the CD in. And he said, you got to see this. And I looked over, and there was the best man dancing naked with the bride, slow, on the dance floor. And all he had on was socks. And I found out later. Did I tell you after how I
don't remember. I think after that, I pretty much lost it.
Yeah. So I inquired after it about the whole situation, and they said that this guy, whenever he drinks, he always started taking his clothes off. So I thought to myself, as soon as you seen his shirt come off, wouldn't you think right then maybe this is where we stop him? But they let him go right through to the end. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That's hilarious. I know. I never thought that'd be probably your favorite one there, but
there's lots, but that was weird, just strange.
I enjoyed. I think I went with Vince once, Sarnia. There was a gig going on down there, and I went with him. We went to your place, got all the gear, and then we went to Sarnia. I can't read. It was a wedding, but I don't remember what it was. I think it was near the boats at the yacht club or something. We were down there. We had a fun night though. It was a pretty good time.
It's a lot of fun.
It is actually a lot of fun. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
100%.
And people, like, even when I was doing all the videoing, like the amount of hours that you're in there, especially when you're the old camera systems, when everything was on tape and I had to watch it all, like upload it live, watch it live again in like real time. So
sure,
if it was I used to be the one, so when they were getting hair and makeup done, I'd be out there getting shots and little interviews when they're doing that. That could be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It just depends on whatever times, right? And then the wedding ceremony, then little bits of the dinner, and then the whole night of, because I'd film the whole thing. I wouldn't when I made the videos for them, I didn't show like 5 hours of dancing.
Right.
But I recorded the whole thing. So there was always something I would capture in there that I could throw in, right? So you got to get it all.
Yeah.
But I'd have hours and hours, like, you're talking 14 hours of footage. And I have to go back and watch all that.
Not many do that anymore.
No, it's all, but once Windows Movie Maker came out and my cousin's uncle's nephew's sister can come over and do it with her video camera, right? So
every industry is like that. There's always somebody that thinks they know what they're doing, right?
Oh yeah. And I honestly, whatever. You're going to get what you pay for, right? So I've had the same thing with people. Oh my God, we had this guy who actually come highly recommended. He played our music and it was the worst friggin' time we had. Like scratches and jumping and CDs that didn't work. And computer kept quitting.
Microphone doesn't sound good, etc. for speeches, all those little things, right?
Yeah. Even all this, like doing how many microphones I've actually had to go through, trying to find something that had, and then buying this wireless set where I can individually turn out, because a lot of my earlier stuff, all of this I just paid. It's all my own money. I have no sponsors. I have no corporate funding. This is just something I do on my own time because I just enjoy it. And I like to bring people in from the city and people that know people, but they don't really know them. They just know, I know you from the sound thing.
Right.
Or, I was at some wedding and I think you did it, but they don't know Adrian. So this is kind of nice to break down the barriers, right? And show who people are. So that's kind of what this whole thing was. But so what is one song that stands out in your mind that you would just totally, please don't ever request that song? What's the one song that just gets you?
Bird Dance?
The Bird Dance? That's a terrible one.
You know what? It had its day.
That polka.
It had its day.
Yeah.
And in the right crowd, it can still be fun.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say that.
What's one piece of equipment that you just couldn't live without? What does it for you?
One piece of equipment. Oh, that's a great question. I guess I couldn't do a lot of events without wireless microphones.
Wireless mics. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else wireless. I don't do wireless speakers. I won't do it.
Oh, okay. So you're still XLR
Everything,
cables.
Everything's XLR. Yeah, because I
Yep.
know I want that clear line, right? That
Yeah.
You never know. And I've seen it at weddings where people go into the chintzy side.
You know what? You just reminded me of something, because many years ago when I was into CVs, I had they call it a kicker or a boot. And I had a 500-watt amp in the back of my car. And I went by Oakwood Inn one night, and a guy I knew that was up there DJing, he came back to see me later, and actually the bar at the corner, the Colonial Hotel.
Yeah.
And they came to see me later and said, God, were we mad at you? It's every time I was going by and I was talking on that with the boot, I just blew right through their speakers. In the whole bar, they could hear everything I was saying. And then this poor wedding at Oakwood, even though I was quite away from there where it was.
So the frequency is the same.
Yeah, it just blasted right through their
See,
system.
now that they have, like all my wirelesses have like 30 channels, right? So I can change.
Yeah.
I've had that at a wedding where I was set up in one of the halls, like I think it was Best Western Lamplighter in London.
Okay. Yep.
I was in one of the halls, and there's a DJ in the next hall, and they're all the timing's pretty close to the same as far as your grand entrance and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And he had set up after me. It doesn't matter. He had the same microphone setup as I did.
Yeah.
And he had it on the same channel. So you don't speak on a microphone until you need to.
Yeah.
And we were doing cocktails and et cetera, and waiting for the bride and groom to show up and what have you. And all of a sudden, through my speakers, his microphone was, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. And it's like, that's kind of weird. And this is really early in the stage of what's going on with
face.
It was like, okay, so that doesn't make any sense to me, because this was way before that was, right? We weren't even used to it. Figured it out pretty quickly, and then went, okay, well then this channel's I'm gonna change to a channel I don't think anybody will ever use.
Yeah.
And I've never had a problem since then.
Okay.
But it was really weird the first time. People were like, why are you, no, you're not talking, but how's that working?
I'd be like, just stop dead, kind of look, where is that? What is that?
It was crazy. and it was like an Italian guy speaking, right? It's not even so it's like, that's not my language, that's not my accent, nothing.
So A&M Sounds. So let's start. What does A&M stand for?
So when I started, I had a friend of mine, his last name was Meredith.
Okay.
Rodney Meredith. A very good friend of mine to this day. We started out together.
Yep.
Actually, I already had it, but then he wanted to join in with me. So I thought, let's see if we can figure out a name. Back then, AM radio was huge.
Yeah.
So why not just make it simple, and we'll go AM, and that way people will remember us really easily.
Okay.
So I just stuck with it.
Good
He only
placement on
lasted
the
about
phone book.
6 months.
Oh, did he?
It was good place back then. You're right.
Yeah.
It was. That was a bonus.
Yeah.
Until they changed everything, right?
That's right.
So yeah.
So he didn't last 6 months.
6 months. He kind of realized
Just
it's
didn't.
taking up all my weekends.
Yeah.
He didn't like that.
So what all services do you provide then? So you're doing weddings.
Do weddings. Corporate events. Any type of corporate event, as far as the music, the lighting, production, that kind of stuff, if necessary.
Did you get bigger into the lighting?
No.
Okay.
If necessary, I rent what's necessary.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll even just say, this is what you need to rent. Go ahead and rent it and keep your costs straight to the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And that way you're getting what you need
for
the event. I do the St. Thomas's Got Talent. Have you seen that?
Oh, no, I haven't been to it, but I have seen clips and stuff.
It's a great event. Yeah. It's held every year in November.
So you're doing all the sound and everything.
I do the sound, and so there's sometimes 3 or 4 people, instruments on stage, etc. So it's kind of backline and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yep.
Monitors, etc. I've done funerals for people that either wanted something special, and in their will they even said, this is what I want, and this is who I want doing it.
Oh, cool.
Even as far as like a wake where they just wanted all 80s rock.
Okay.
They said, we want Adrian to do it, and we want all 80s rock, and that was kind of special to see that.
I know. I've been at a couple of funerals where they had guitar players and stuff.
Sure.
Like stood right up there by the casket and played. So that's what they wanted.
A good friend of mine a few years ago passed away, and it turned into a dance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like half an hour of just let's give her, because this is what she loved to hear when she was back at Eddie's.
That's actually what we did for my wife after she passed away, and we had a celebration at the old Elgin Labor Temple.
Oh wow!
Turned it right into a whole. It was a party. Yeah, it was
celebration,
amazing.
Right?
Yeah. And after that, I thought, man, we've been doing so much wrong. These funerals.
Oh, 100%.
This was so like
celebration of life. That's more than a funeral, right?
She was cremated. We had her there, but it was just the reminiscing, the people, the dancing, it was amazing.
Memories, right?
Yeah, it was a good time, and I know she would have been smiling because that's exactly how she wanted it, right? So
exactly.
All right, so we're gonna get out of here. Anybody coming up? Then say you got a wedding coming up, you got a corporate event coming up. How soon should they be in touch with you before that event? What's a good timeline?
It depends on the season.
Okay.
If you're looking at January, February, March, April, you're pretty safe to go 6 months.
Okay.
Before. After that, you should be looking at a year.
About a year out.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's an annual event, you should be booking year to year, like a Christmas party.
Okay. Yeah.
You shouldn't be waiting 4 months and going, we're going to book you again. Yeah.
So like you do for Remembrance Day. You know that, so every year you already have that in. It's done, right?
Yeah.
So you could have corporations do that same thing. Hey,
which they do.
Yeah.
For the most part, like all our specialty walks, like the Alzheimer walk and Big Brothers and all those specialties, it's just year to year. Just roll it over. Just keep doing what you're doing, kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Which is
great.
But
for these private events and weddings, this is where, So
a year? A year
minimum.
Wow. But keep in mind too, my business is kind of shifting. Okay. So I'm taking on clients that know me. Know what I do and have been to something I've done.
Yep.
I want to make sure that when I walk in that room, I can control the space and know exactly what I need to do. I don't want to be surprised.
You've built up that clientele base now after all of these years that you can comfortably service.
Well, a lot of the times now it's children of people I've done weddings for 40 years ago.
Wow.
35 years ago, right? And then now my child's getting married.
That shows how old you're getting.
Right? I'm the same age as you.
I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Wow.
So that in itself is cool.
Yeah. So be careful who you get. Just meet that person.
Ask the questions. Find out what the questions are about any industry that you're booking, whether it's photographer or cake or what have you.
But don't be surprised if you come up with some questions for them.
100%. Right? And things that you may not even need to have at your wedding that people won't care about, and save some money, because these weddings are getting ridiculous in price.
There you go.
It's really all about camaraderie and dancing and some good food. Right? After that, people don't care. So keep your costs down, ask the right questions, and you can maybe even eliminate some of the vendors that you don't need at your wedding as well.
Well, there you go. Never even really thought of that.
Well, and that's where the costs come in, right? Every time you add a vendor, you're adding a big fee.
Okay.
That sometimes isn't necessary.
Well, there you go. There's some information there that pretty informative. Yeah. Informative information.
There you go. Informative information.
You just come up with a new word right there. That's a good terminology. I think that'll be the word of the day.
There you go.
Informative information.
There
we go. All right, Adrian Peters, A&M Sounds. How long in business?
41 years.
41 years.
Yeah. And I would like to thank each and every person that's given me the opportunity to be in front of you. I would love to do it again. Thank you so much.
Wow. 41. That is amazing. So, you do have a great service.
Thank you.
I will say that. So, there you go. So, contact, you know people, maybe you're not in our community here. I don't know. How far do you travel? I know we've done gigs down Sarnia, but
I try to stay within an hour anymore.
Within an hour of St. Thomas. So
of London-ish.
London.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So if you're Grand Bend falls in that. It's only like an hour or 5 minutes from here. So anyway, in here you may have your own people that you know, or somebody comes recommended. It's not Adrian, but hey, at least take his advice. Talk to that person.
I'd be happy to answer any questions for anybody, even if you booked somebody else, but you're not really quite sure how to go about stuff and you're not sure how to ask that person. I'd be happy to just intervene and give you the insight to understand and how to make your day the best. That's what it's all about, is making your day the best.
Well, what I'll do is I'll put your website and information. I've already taken screenshots of that have been already on the show here, but we'll put that information back up. So, all right, folks, take care. Thanks again, Adrian Peters, A&M Sounds. Adrian, we'll come back some other time.
I would love to.
And talk some more and
absolutely.
And what else is? I think at one time too. I don't know. Is your wife still doing wedding gowns and stuff?
Yeah.
All right, so we got to touch on that.
Yeah.
All right, so there's something else in there that we need to talk about. His other half that does
Savvy Bridal.
Savvy Bridal. Okay, yeah, we'll have to talk about that, especially with summer coming up. And yeah, she doing good in that?
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're out of time. We gotta go. So thanks again for watching. And London, St. Thomas, Woodstock, and Tilsonburg, and like I said to Robbie Campbell, the Mudman, and all them little places in between.
Those little ones.
All right.
Even Fingal.
That's right. Even Fingal. Even Fingal. That's right. Take care, folks. Thanks again. I like that. I'm going to make that one again.